So this morning I made a fatal error. I made a really bad choice with the trade, and it was because of one simple thing, one simple idea. We're going to talk about it here in the video. Where did I go wrong? How did I get so confused and so messed up? What did I do wrong? I'm going to break it down here in this video, showing you guys the trade, showing you guys the action, and all that fun stuff right now, right here. Let's go. The stock market is open for business. All right, so this morning we're starting out here looking at the trade ideas scanner right now. You can see ISUN just popping up there. It's got 5.4 million shares on top of the Gapper list right now. It's up 27%. We're going to see if this thing can pop up, can get up above $8 here at open. And we got about a minute until the market opens here. We're looking for a push over $8 to jump back in here. Well, to jump in on this setup here. You can see on the bigger time frames here, if we look so far, we've already pushed to $9.10. So a huge spike up here. All of a sudden, I guess some news came out. So we're waiting to see what happens here at open. If it pushes above $8, we're going to jump in for a push over $9. Looking to see what else is moving around here. Looking at the scanner right now, see what else is moving. So we got BTSC getting halted and then reopening here. We're going to jump in there at 4. See if we can bounce off the 4s here. Get going again, get above 420 up to the 450s here. If we break back above 410, I'll add again. So I'm going to add right there. Let's look for a push above 425 now. Get a squeeze going again, over 430. Let's do it. ISUN down to the 675 area now. Number 390, bottom of these candles being the stop on this trade. Can't hold 390, not going to be good. You can see this thing just went from $3.50 up to a high of $4.20. So pretty big move there. So getting out of that trade there on BTCS, I think my big issue was kind of just chasing that. It got halted, and then obviously it had a big spike there, but just should give it more time. Looking at the bigger time frames, you can see if you look at the bigger time frame on the 15-minute chart, like this right here, this would have been a good entry on that 15-minute chart, making a new high on this. I guess kind of did that on both, but you can see right there at open how it just went crazy on the 15-minute chart, breaking out over that all-time, well, the pre-market high. Well, pre-market high was 389, but you can see kind of that 350 area was resistance there pre-market, and it just got sold off hard. So ISUN down to a low of 650, so we got that one. So I think the moral of the story here on BTCS is pretty simple, that, you know, I really should have waited for a more solid, solid breakout there, especially on the bigger time frames. Look at the 5-minute chart. Where I was buying at was still, just not getting out of that, making a new high kind of status. So I was ended up buying on this pullback here after that halt, and you can see kind of the difference in the setup here, as this would have been that break over 4, and then from the 386 level up there to 423 was a much better move there, especially on the bigger time frames. So just got to remind myself, to make sure I'm looking at the bigger time frames, look at the bigger picture. Don't just go and see the 1-minute chart and be like, oh, wow, it's time to jump in here. You got to give yourself a little bit more time, So I'm going to short here at the 380s. All right, so I think this is a really good lesson here with BTCS this morning. I know, we're in the simulator. It's a little bit different emotions, things like that. But it's pretty good example of what is important here when looking at these plays. Now, if you look at the 1-minute chart, this thing popped up off of these levels here. It popped up to the 423 level. It was halted right here. We ended up trying to buy the dip to get a rip back up. We did not get the continuation there. So this is the 1-minute chart. You can see how this thing kind of just fizzled out and then pulled back down here to the 360, which is kind of where it broke out at earlier. And you can see right now up there to 411. So this is a really good example, I think, for me, also for anyone watching this, is on the 1-minute chart, this kind of setup is not a solid fundamental kind of entry. There's no real setup here on this breakout or this move in general, really, right? So there's just no real, I don't know how to say it, but there's no real reason to jump in on this trade. All right, so the high on this trade was up there at this level, and you can see how we basically got stuck going down. Obviously, we got this level here at the 390s, was kind of holding for a second, but overall we really had no like solid breakout while there on the 1 minute chart, especially on the 5 minute chart. You can see on the 5 minute chart, this is really what I should be looking at for my entries. This big move to the upside here, we sell off, bouncing around this level here, we then pulled back, and now look at the 5 minute chart. As you can see, this candle pushing up from that low off of the 20 EMA. We got support there at the 9 EMA as well. So, and then if we go to the 15 minute chart, I think this is a really good example as well to kind of show that this next candle opened up here at the 375 level, and we can see how the buyers stepped in there off of those support levels, that EMA there, and that's kind of exactly where we broke out at before on this move. If we go back on the 1 minute chart, that 360 level right here was right where we broke out at earlier on this move. So we had a big move to the upside. We got the pullback because of the halt. It got halted to the upside. We got the pullback, but there was really no clear entry, especially on the 5 minute chart. There was not like a beautiful setup here to jump in. Now, in hindsight, obviously, we could have said, okay, well, look, the first 5 minute candle to make, I would say, a new high here, or to push above a previous 5 minute candle, that would have been our entry. So we could have entered here on this level, this 385. The high of this candle was 385. So our entry should have been there right above 385, especially seeing, the buyer. So when we see these big wicks, right, when we see these big wicks in the bottom of the candles here, what does that mean? It means that buyers are stepping in there and pushing it back up. So, we sold off, we pushed back up, really not on a ton of volume either. So we kind of consolidated that level that was previously where we broke out, and you can see kind of that overall setup. So that's what I really need to focus on, making sure that if I'm entering a trade, is there actually an entry? Am I actually seeing a actual strategy, an entry, something that can be reproduced over and over? And I think, it's just getting back into it. We can't just be chasing every little 1 minute candle that pops up, because you just don't get, the same continuation. Like where this candle here pushed above that 410, it pushed up to the 415, but you can see, still just got hammered back down. Whereas if we go to the 5 minute chart, when we broke above this 385, that being this candle right here, similar to the 1 minute setup, we had a much stronger move to the upside, and then we've also stayed above that level as well. So something to think about. Little lesson for the day. I'm going to be done here. I think there's a couple things moving around. You can see on the scanner, but really BTCS was kind of the big mover this morning, and we really didn't get that good of a move on it. And it's only got 3 million shares traded so far. So not a ton of volume. I just need to let these trades I need to let these trades happen, let them kind of unfold and show me the setups and show me the opportunities, and not just be so quick to try to jump in right away. So if you guys enjoy these videos, you enjoy the content, do me one big favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys later on.